Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for our Championship review show. I've put up there round 26. Not exactly, is it? But a bit of a midweek catch-up. And we got 6 games in the end. We didn't think we were going to get 6 games after Rotherham and Derby was rained off, but they managed to get the game on the next night. So 6 games to talk about. As ever, we will go through from highest ranking in the league to lowest ranking in the league and have a look at all of the incidents, hopefully with your comments and opinions on each. Let me know that you can see me, hear me loudly and clearly, and get your views in on each game as we go. Before we go any further, let me just give a shout out to our fan sponsor, Russ Peak, a fan and now a friend despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. Russ is the fan sponsor for the review show right the way through this championship season. Couple of other plugs. As ever, you can support the channel and the show via Super Chat at any point during the broadcast, and as ever, in highly juvenile manner. The first Super Chat will be the king of the bin. If we do need to open the wonder that is the fake news sin bin, get involved over on Patreon. We're now starting to up the ante over on Patreon. Q&A has just gone up for today. That's going to be weekly now. You can get my quick predictions as well before every round of championship games. Hopefully, we're going to be adding more extra shows over there too. Remember, there will always be free shows here like this one on YouTube. So make sure you hit the like button. And most importantly, get your comments in. Hi to Liam. Hi to Mr. E. Apologies. We may be thin on the ground here. A short turnaround and a 3 o'clock kickoff for me here. So we will truck on as ever, and hopefully more people will join us as we are going through. Let's have a look at the most recent round of games then, or round. It's not exactly, but there they are. You're looking at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. Obviously, Watford and QPR kind of classes as the weekend round because that was on Monday night. So it was Millwall 0, Norwich 0, Wycombe 0, Birmingham 0. Don't worry, there is goals. There are goals. Coventry 1, Forest 2, Bournemouth 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. We know that one had far-reaching implications. Rotherham 3, Derby 0. Woof. Brentford 3, Bristol City 2. As ever, we will work our way down. So we'll start off at the top with leaders Norwich, who drew 0-0 at Millwall, as we predicted they would. We are testing out the Michael Jordan theory as it pertains to Norwich and their star player, Emi Buendia, who the statistics tell us improves them threefold in terms of points per game. And it has appeared that way. Norwich, no goals for them. And a point here at Millwall without Buendia. He's suspended for 1 more game. For Millwall, slightly upward trend continues. They are undefeated in 4. Only 1 goal against them in those 4 games as well. They do with some wins, but it's progress. It is an upward trend, as I said. For Millwall, Białkowski in goal. Leonard continues at centre-back. Hutchison and Cooper. Malone and McNamara wing-backs. Thompson, Woods and Keefton Bell with Zahor and Wallace supporting. For Norwich, Krul, Aarons, Hanley, Gibson, Janulis looking strong. Rupp and Skip, strong. Placheta, Vrancic, Cantwell look strong, but it's just this Buendia factor now, isn't it? And Pookie up top for Norwich. Let's have a look at some of the action in this one. Scott Malone, good save that by Tim Krul. Malone half volleys that through the crowd to Krul's left. Here's an interesting one. This is Teemu Pukki going through, as we've seen him do many times in the Championship for Norwich. And as I saw him do against this very keeper against Ipswich, exactly the same position pretty much. And he shot it early and low into the corner. And I just wonder whether he's a little bit slightly off his very, very high standards. Just takes a couple of extra touches when I think in the past, Pukki in that position was like guaranteed goal, even though it looks would always hit it early and find the corner low, often to the keeper's right. So no open play goal in 8 games for Pukki. I think he's got a couple of penalties, but a little bit slower on the goals than we would expect. Someone else who's slow on the goals is Ken Zahora, and this is where Millwall fans will think they should have won this game, that's Ken Zahora on the back post. Heads that over. He's just got to arrow that into the net, hasn't he? He's on the run, but big striker, brought in to score those types of headed goals from close range. Puts it over the bar, trying to go back across Krul. Scott Malone, good opening there again. That one gets blocked. And here's a bit of a controversial one because look at Kieran Dowell and Sean Hutchison there. Clear arm on the shoulder and not jumping. So Dowell's probably got away with one there. You don't very often these days in the penalty box, clearly sort of holding. You don't kind of get away with that one very often. So speaking of getting away with it, look at this right at the end. Krul straight out to Wallace. I think if that's on his right foot, it's a complete open goal. He's just got to hit the target and Krul's too far away. Any shot on target with any pace is probably a goal. So good result on the surface of it for Millwall in respect of drawing in a clean sheet against the league leaders. But in context, could they have won? I wonder. You tell me what you think in the chat. Let's have a look at the numbers. Farker versus Rowett, possession 65%, you'd imagine. 17 shots to 15. 3-2 on target, though, in Millwall's favour. 2 big chances to 0. And obviously, the open goal for Wallace from distance, tiring at the end of the game on a heavy pitch, won't go down as a big chance. But I think we all kind of, our eye test would say, come on, just hit the target and you score with that one. Looking up at the top of the table, Norwich still in rarefied air there, over 2 points per game. So big picture, fantastic for Norwich. They are still 4 points clear at the top. You'll spot a new team in second place. We'll talk about them in a minute. 6 undefeated for Norwich. However, no goals in the last 2 games. No wins in the last 2 games. 6 goals in the last 7 games. So, I mean, it could be that that's as bad as it gets for Norwich, that, you know, a bad run is still 11 points in 5 games, which is not a bad run. But there's a few predictors here that a small slowdown, if there's going to be a slowdown, may be occurring right now. And, of course, the next game is against Swansea away without Buendia. It may be that that's as bad as it gets for Norwich. They could possibly lose to Swansea and it's 2 points in 3 games, and then off they go again with Buendia and get a load of wins. Who knows? I don't suspect it'll be a slip that lasts for long, but by their high standards this season, 2 points in 2 games without losing, I know it's asking a lot, is a little bit of a slowdown in their recent form. I think they had 1 point in 2 further back when they lost to Luton, didn't they, and drew to Coventry. But still, they are in a hugely strong position, let's just say. But they'll want to get Buendia back on the pitch. Millwall, it's an upward trend, isn't it? It's some improvement. As I said, unbeaten in 4, only 1 goal against in that period. They could do with just tack on a win there and start to look good. 14 draws in 27 games. We were talking about the record. Will they set the record this season? Let's have a look here. Liam says Do you think Pookie should be dropped for tomorrow? I think an interesting question, actually. I would generally, as a blanket rule with Norwich in the Championship with Farker, you would, as a blanket rule, say never drop Pookie. But, you know, you could stick Hugel in. He got a couple, didn't he, against Middlesbrough. So, yeah, potential for that. Mr. E, Millwall seem to be doing looking better now. I don't think there's any need for them to be looking over their shoulders too much, despite the rising tide, and the tide is rising, Mr. E. We could have won it in the last 15, but overall it was a reasonably fair result. Mr. Martin has joined. Referee Martin is joined referee Langford and referee Stroud on the list. You just made the list, indeed. Nil in that one. Let's move on. Brentford 3, Bristol City 2, which was a fine watch, wasn't it, on the watch along last night. Thank you, everybody, for joining me there. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I suspect everyone other than the Bristol City fans enjoyed that one. Brentford, I mean, what else do we say? 19 games unbeaten, top scorers in the league. Any metric you can measure other than they're second. They've only just found their way second. It's just, I think 11 points in the first 8 is why they are have taken their time to get into the automatics. A slow start. They are traditionally slow starters. But then they sold Watkins and Ben Rama at the start of the season. So 2 players whose output was magnificent last season. So, you know, it's fair. And they're coming so strong. Now, Raya in goal, Dalsgaard, Pinnock, Sorensen, Henry, Jensen, Janel, Godos, Fosu, Tony, Kanyos. And talk about players improving and the team improving. Fosu improving. Janel, good signing. Looks really good in that team now. Godos starting to pick up now as well. And obviously Winston Reed's been signed. I wonder whether he'll become a starter next to Pinnock. That's how the game ended. For Bristol City, Bentley in goal, Hunt, Callas, Mawson and Mariappa. Centrally, Masengo, who I thought was quite good actually, Viner and Naj. Edwards, who looks a confident young chap, although SofaScore's metrics have come out with 5.3 there. But my eye test said there was a little something about him. Semenyo, who we like. Jeju, in-form guy up the top end of the pitch. Let's have a look at the action. And an opening goal for Bristol City in this one after just 2 minutes. Nice delivery by Hunt, the right back. And on the back post there is Zach Viner, the now central midfielder. Ethan Pinnock loses him. Look at that. It's a nice delivery, I have to say. Real nice curler in to the far post. It was Edwards that won the free kick as well. And Viner gives Bristol City the perfect start. Can they sit in and get something from the game? No. Alas, no. They can't survive the half, in fact. I don't want to dig Alfie Mawson out, but look, clipped into the channel, no danger, really, overcommits, and he's going to let a miss kick let Fosu in behind him. And what ends up happening? Fosu down the line, crosses Bentley. I think he's a bit unlucky. He gets something on the cross to prevent Tony, who you can see sprawling into the goal, getting on it. But Kanyos, look at that. Good technique. Sorry, it's a bit blurry on the iFollow freezes that I've taken. Kanyos cushions it into the net. 1-1. But I suspect Mawson was probably apologising for that one at half time. Second half, what can we say now about Ivan Toney? Look at that for a finish. So it's driven cross in from the right-hand side. Callas putting him under pressure. The ball just off the floor. Look at the balance on the full volley. He's going to slam that into that small gap to Bentley's left. 20 goals in 26 appearances for Toney. Woof. Could he get 30? I wonder if he stays injury-free, some chance of it happening. 2-1 and double punch here. That's Saman Godos. He's just smashed that off the sort of crossbar angle of post and bar. comes back. He smashed it first time with the right foot. Now with the left foot. 3 goals in his last 5 starts for Godos. I thought he was coming in as Ben Rama's replacement to play front left, but now Fosu and Kanios are doing well up there. Thomas Frank cleverly sticks him into sort of a deeper midfield position, and now Godos is starting to deliver as well. For some reason, I don't have the 5th goal. It was 3-2, wasn't it? Sorry, I can't see it on my screen up there. Who put that one in? Naki Wells. Apologies, Bristol City fans. Probably wanted to see that, didn't you? But I don't have it on there. Wells from Backinson's assist there. My apologies for not having that. Good performance again by Brentford. They stayed nice and calm after they went behind, kept doing their thing, and found themselves 2 goals clear. 62% on the possession, 17 shots to 7, 8 to 4 on target, 5 corners to 3, 3 big chances to 2. So you can score against them if you're anyone, even Bristol City. They're a top half team, managing to get the 2 goals there. But the eye test said good performance by Brentford, and there they are. It's been a long old slog to get up there. The parachute cartel well and truly broken now, with 3 teams in between Norwich and then Watford and Bournemouth. And Brentford find themselves in 2nd. I mean, use whatever stat you want. 19 unbeaten. I think the more pertinent one, 23 points in 9 games. Norwich had a run like that earlier in the season, didn't they? Reading also did, didn't they? They had 21 points in 8 games. Reading. So Brentford have just turned on the blasters over the last 9 games to get there into 2nd. And as I said in the preview, perfect timing, because you're dropping into 2nd and the next game first play 3rd. So you know there's a potential to take at least 2 points out of at least one of those other teams if you can win the next game. Superb form by Brentford. Over the years, since they've been challenging, they've done things like this. You've got into the playoff positions and then dropped off a little bit, or got into the top 2 and then dropped off. So we will find out now. They've got into 2nd. Can they stay there for 2 games, 3 games, 4 games and push on and make it a title challenge? If they keep up this form, obviously they will do. Brilliant from Brentford. Bristol City, 7 defeats in 10. For the Robins, 3 defeats in 4. It was win-lose for a few games, wasn't it? But now 3 defeats in 4. Not good. Okay, Brentford away is a mitigating factor. So we'll have a look in the preview show at what's coming up for them tomorrow. But slightly worrying times. What are you guys saying here? Iain. Brentford, champions-elect, in my view. They're certainly on a roll, aren't they? Anir. I thought we were good for the first 30 minutes, agreed. And then we got done by the quality of Brentford, agreed. I thought Masengo and Edwards were impressive, agreed. When the third, I think you've nailed it, Anir. Agree with every second of that. Alfie Mawson has errors in him, especially against the better sides. Maybe that's why Fulham didn't fancy him playing out from the back. I don't think Bristol City should be judged too harshly based on this match. The hardest game of the season for any team. It's appearing that way, isn't it? Wasn't that the same against Huddersfield? Poor hour. Feel a bit sorry for Holden. Injuries on top of injuries. Now no left back. Primm recalled and gets injured. No signs of William and Walsh. There are players coming back for Bristol City. Patterson was back off the bench. We're expecting Sessegnon at some point as well. Yeah. What else have we got in here? 6 straight away league defeats. You could say that Norwich got a point at Brentford and played horribly. I remember that, yeah. Fluky deflected equaliser from McLean. But that's what Norwich have done well this season, haven't they? Where they haven't been convinced, and their game management's been good, and they've still got something out of it. So that's a feather in Norwich's cap in that respect. Big game. And if you were Norwich, you would rather having Brentford come into Norwich than vice versa. But I'm sure we're all looking for it to be a really good game of football as well, because both Norwich and Brentford have been subjected to a few low block defences through the season, haven't they? Right, let's move on to Bournemouth versus Sheffield Wednesday. And this game had rather far-reaching implications for Jason Tindall because, and for anyone who wants to get emotionally hurt about this, I will word it this way. The Bournemouth board, who literally run a football club, decided that after this result, Jason Tindall is out and done. So don't come at me. The Bournemouth owners decided after this result that this was not good enough. However, behind Sheffield Wednesday you are, and a certain fan who thinks I was disrespectful for saying that. Well, that's what the Bournemouth owners decided, that this was the final straw. Their decision, not mine. Out goes Tindall. Check out the video we did on that yesterday. A lot of good comments on that. And yeah, the odd ridiculous one, but there you go. Begovic in goal for Bournemouth. Stacey, Metham, Cook, Kelly, Stanislas, the other Cook. Wilshere starts. Brooks, Solanke, Danjuma. Looks like a pretty decent team on paper to me. For Wednesday, Westwood, Palmer, Lees, Hutchison, Hagid, Reach, Bannon, Pelopessi, Penny, Kachunga, Patterson. Don't think it would be unreasonable to say an inferior team on paper, but at the moment playing better. But 23rd, going away to 6th ex-Premier League team. One would expect Bournemouth to be favourites, and I'm sure the bookies did indeed have them as so. That's not how it transpired because, surprise, surprise, everyone, football and the Championship doesn't always go to form, despite what probability may tell us. Anyway, I think I've laboured that point. Hopefully the target is watching. Here is a really horrible goal. Metham completely passing the ball back to Patterson. It's not over there because Patterson doesn't want to hit that with his left foot at all. Hits it with the outside of his right foot, kind of trickles along the floor, and then Begovic thinks he's going to hit a better shot and kind of dives over the top of the ball and gets his feet messed up because it's closer to him than he expected it to be. Horrible, horrible goal. But you'll take it if you're a Wednesday fan. Here's the equaliser. That's poor from Hutchison, isn't it? Trust your goalkeeper. Surridge running in. Just put pressure on the shooter. Trust your goalkeeper. But no, you're going to give him a 3-shot from 12 yards, which Stanislas sticks into the net. And I said in the stream when we were doing this one live, something's not right here. Something's not right. Just Bournemouth just didn't look right the way they were playing. Just a complete lack of intensity. And it was like they were doing what they were being asked, but not necessarily believing it was going to result in anything happening. And it didn't. And good substitution from Neil Thompson brings on Harris, cross to the back post, and Rhodes, the other substitute. And I got mugged off by Jordan Rhodes in this one. We were lamenting a substitute performance of his against Derby, wasn't it? Where he looked like a competition winner on the pitch, not the Jordan Rhodes goal machine that we know, but on the back post, headers that one in. Boom. Big win for Wednesday. Big defeat for Jason Tindall. Out he goes the next morning. The board citing recent results not meeting expectations. And look at the numbers. They're damning on Bournemouth there. Okay, 66% on the possession. 14 shots to 12. 5 apiece on target. 3 big chances to 1. And I will repeat, at the risk of upsetting any proud Sheffield Wednesday fan here, this is a year 1 parachute team against a team deducted 6 points in the bottom 3 who hasn't been able to do anything really in terms of bringing players in this window. It's a great result for Sheffield Wednesday and a poor result and performance for 6th placed Bournemouth. Fourth straight defeat. 5 points in 8 games is the run that did for Tindall. Sheffield Wednesday, brilliant. 16 points in 7. The only worry, if you're a Sheffield Wednesday fan, is prior to that, 4 points in 9. So maybe they'll continue on a good trend with Neil Thompson, but you would worry about those extremes. You'd rather have something a little bit more in the middle and steadily get away than being abject terrible and then outright brilliant, which they have been in the last 7 games, points per game wise, particularly good at home as well. I think 4 straight home wins for Wednesday. But the rising tide and the 6-point deduction, I mean, look, add the 6 points on and they are, look how tight that is. They're joint on Cardiff there in 16th with 31. But it is what it is. They have got a 6-point deduction, and other teams, Rotherham, Derby, Forest, Coventry, QPR have all been putting points on at the bottom of the table. The tide is rising. Wednesday, for all their excellent form over the last 7 games, are still in the bottom 3. Let's have a look at your comments. What have we got here? Paul says, narrow wins, narrow defeats. We are where we should be. Horrendous mid-table for Bristol City on the previous game. Great result for Wednesday, says Iain. Agreed. Frank Lampard to Bournemouth. Cap seems to fit, doesn't it? Hey? What else have we got in here? Sheffield Wednesday play better when there's chaos. We joked about that earlier in the season. Appears to be the case. A lot of money on Sky Bet going. John Terry. Interesting. Always fun. Always good for the channel as well to get the big names in here. Right. Let's move on. Coventry 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Get your comments in on another good win for Forest. They'd had a little slip for a couple of games, hadn't they? Only 1 point in the previous 2. But generally, big picture, they're in good form. Forest, 16 points in 9. Not quite Sheffield Wednesday, 16 points in 7, but 16 points in 9 is over and above what you'd need to be getting away from the bottom. So big picture, after that horrible run of games they had, Forest, they may not be spectacular, but the trend is very, very much in the right direction. And like all of these teams down there, everyone tide rising at the same time, isn't it? A weird anomaly. The average points all going up at the same time. And you know what will happen? They'll all drop at the same time as well. And no one will be any better off. But we'll see. We will see. Morosi back in goal for Cov. Pask, Ostigard, Hyam, McCallum. Hamer, James, Sheaf. O'Hare, Biamu, Gyökeres up top for Forest, Samba. Christie, Figueiredo, Worrell, Bong. Garner starts with Cafu. Completely new look. Double pivot there for Chris Hughton. Knocker, I'll get in the bin, so for score every time. Kravinovic, and Amiobi with Graben up top. Let's have a look at some goal action in this one. Biamu. Well, you tell me what you think. Is Callum O'Hare either offside or in Samba's line of sight? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe yes to one. Maybe no to both. I don't know. It's a nice finish by Biamu. If O'Hare's onside, then none of that matters. But on the basis that maybe, is that Figueiredo in the way? Anyway, the goal stands and Biamu manages to stick that in the gap. If O'Hare is indeed onside, as the officials thought he was, good goal. O'Hare gets another assist as well. He's in good form. O'Hare. There is Lewis Graben. Sorry about some spanning. We can block. There we go. Maybe an ex-student of mine by the look. Amiobi setting up Graben there, cutting that one back and sticking it home. Just manages to wrong foot Morosi, doesn't go into the big gap, goes where Morosi was stood. Here is the winner. Look away now, Michael Rose. Christie, good cross. Rose has got to do something because Graben's going to stick it in just behind him, but gets all in the muddle. Does he want to head it? Does he want to chest it? What does he want to do? He ends up sticking it into his own net. 2-1 to Forest. And have a look at the numbers. A beautiful Houghton win that. Look at that. One shot on target and winning by 2-1. Looks like a bit of a smash and grab to me looking at the numbers. I didn't watch all 90 minutes of the game, just the highlights package. But look at that. 61% possession, 14 shots to 6, 5 shots to 1 on target. And Forest to come away with a 2-1 win, 6 corners to 5. It does look like Houghton has done a number there on Coventry. But he's been good at doing that for a long while, particularly at championship level. There you can see 18th and 19th in the table. Forest now within 1 point of Coventry. As I said, Forest in good form, 16 points in 9. Coventry, and I mean, this is a really good stat for them, 22 points in 16. So basically, Forest could lose their next 6 games and we would still have a stat that says for a half a season, 22 and 22, essentially, they're viable. So Coventry, that they're looking all right if they can just keep ticking over that form over a long period now, 16 games, intimates that they are survivors in this league. Let's have a look in the comments. Apologies about all of the spam in there. What have we got here? Owen says Garner played really well. Good victory. Oh, Wickham. There you go. Good chance for Forest against bottom team Wickham. Ben says Samba has finally found some form, especially with the one-handed catch. Not sure. I didn't see the one-handed catch, but sounds good. What else have we got here? I think Wednesday will be okay. But the worry is that you come back from so far back, it only takes about, agreed. There, Sean says, shouldn't be losing to teams like Luton. If you want to laugh, have a look at the Jason Tyndall gets fired video and quite amusing exchange with our Sheffield Wednesday friend on there. Get involved if you want, even if you think I'm in the wrong being a grump. What else have we got here in the chat? I think he's offside, but not affecting Samba's view. Yeah, onside, he's fine. Not affecting Samba's view, he's fine as well. Chris, Robin said Coventry were unlucky not to at least get a draw. I think he's probably right there. I think Birmingham will go down, says Animation. We'll talk about Birmingham in a minute. We've got to talk about a mighty win for Rotherham, though, first. Rotherham doing the derby. Paul Warren has beaten Wayne Rooney twice in Rooney's short career so far. It was Rotherham 3, Derby County 0. What a result that is for the Millers. We did attempt, actually I need to make a note to get a refund. Let me write that down on the pad. We did attempt to do a split watch along on this one last night, didn't we? But Rams TV was not playing ball for much of the second half. My apologies to anyone disappointed by that. But the Brentford and Bristol City game on the other channel did not let us down like Rams TV did. There's your Rotherham team, your Hansen, Robertson, Wood, Ihekwa, Olasunde and Harding, wingbacks, Wiles, Barlaser, Lindsay, Crooks and Smith. So nice that Paul Warren thinks he can afford to drip in the new loan players. I'm talking about Giles and Wing. Giles is indeed going to come on and score in this game. There's your Derby team. Marshall, Byrne, Wisdom, Clark, Buchanan, Shinnie and Bird, Waghorn, Knight, Josh Viak, Kazim, Richards. If you look at the bench, you will see the new loan players again. Rooney doing the same thing. Gregory's there, Roberts, Baningimi, if I'm pronouncing that name right, and Mengi. We may expect to see a few of them come into the team in the coming weeks. But the worry now is in the same way we use the Michael Jordan theory on Norwich with Buendia, do we have to use it on Derby with Bielik? We'll be able in a few games, and I feel very badly for Bielik, a second long-term injury in 2 seasons. Horrible, and such a good player as well. We all, I'm sure, wish him well. However, in a few games, we'll be able to see Derby's points per game with Bielik and without Bielik, and I wonder whether it will drop off, and if so, by how much. Let's have a look at some pictures in this one. Pictures of Lily. There is Michael Ehekwa, a lovely Rotherham set play goal here. Big boot down the ground from the set play, but Derby, they held a high line. Smith flicked it on. Ehekwa put it into the net. You've got to be alert at set plays against Paul Vaughan. And you've got to be alert against Matt Crooks, who's playing very well at the moment, the Miller's number 10. And a give and go there with, I think, with Giles, actually. And Graham Shinney has just lost him. Look, he's trying to track him from central midfield, outside of the right foot from Crooks into the box. Shinney's got, Smith has got goal side of Matt Clark. And that's where the ball ends up, near post, and Smith sticks it home. I'm sure Derby fans will cry foul on the third goal because perhaps Nathan Byrne got fouled in the build-up. You tell me. I don't think it that late in the game at 2-0 makes that much difference. But Ryan Giles, look from the angle, sticks that home left-footed. Boom, 2 goals for him already in not many minutes on the pitch from his loan from Wolves. He'd been at Coventry earlier in the season. Bang, bang, bang. 76, 81, 88. The goal times there. There are the numbers for that one. 65% on the possession for Derby. 10 shots to 9. 4 on target, though, to 2 for Rotherham. So we're playing the chance quality game here. However, look at that. 2 big chances for Derby to 1 for Rotherham. So classic Paul Vaughan Rotherham victory here. Play the penalty boxes. Maybe use a set play. Good bit of play by Crooks. Good finish by Giles as the game stretches. And they have picked off Derby. There is the league table. And as I said, the tide is rising. And now we have so many teams on or around a point per game, which we normally think is survival, 46. But the tide has risen to a point where Rotherham have a point per game. Sheffield Wednesday are a point per game team, but with a -6 point deduction is the issue there. Everyone other than Wycombe is projecting to score 46 points or more. Is it going to be 2 seasons running we get a crazy high tide? Remember, Charlton got relegated with 49 points. You're not going to want to hear that if you're a Rotherham fan, because they're playing well, they're scoring points, but it hasn't got them out of the bottom 3 because of the rising tide. You're not going to want to hear that if you're a Birmingham fan or a Wycombe fan as well, but we'll talk about them in a minute, because they're the only ones really over the last 7-8 games that haven't risen in terms of their points per game. Derby, big picture. Rotherham. I got a stat for you. 13 points in the last 8 games, and it had been 13 points in the opening 17 games. So Rotherham scored half their seasonal total in the last 8 games. They're in good form. Derby, they've still got 6 wins in 12. So looking good. It was 3 straight wins. Your only worry is now, will there be a downward trend without Bielik? Although they now have extra bodies in terms of attackers with Roberts wide and Gregory in on loan, and the young guys, Mengi and got to learn this guy's name. Hang on. Baningime. Is he the one from Man United or is he the one from Everton? I don't know. We'll learn these players as they come. It was a busy transfer window. Put it that way. Let's have a look. MJ says, Max Bird is no replacement for Bielik. I like Max Bird, but Bielik's very good, isn't he? Very good player. Just the right mix of physicality and skill. Good on the ball, good age. Shame, real shame. Teams like Rotherham, hashtag, dearie me. Patrick Roberts has lost twice to Rotherham in 1 week. Unbelievable scenes. Was he still at Borough or had they sent him back? You're probably right, Animation. We were competitive and clinical. Joint top scorers in the bottom half. Smith 6 goals in 8 games. I hadn't spotted that, Iain. Birmingham, Wycombe, big trouble. Derby or Wednesday to battle it out over the other relegation spot. Interesting. Lee Gregory missed a good chance before Rotherham scored their first goal. Interesting. Wing never scores tap-ins. No, he doesn't. No, he does not. What else? We got great win for Rotherham. Slightly naughty of certain members of their board, but I can understand their delight. I don't know what you mean. -5 goal difference for club in the bottom 3. Not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty good, as Larry David would say. Cardiff and Huddersfield could get caught in the relegation fight. They could. I'm sure Mick McCarthy won't allow that. Hopefully, for Huddersfield's sake, after some good work by Carlos Corberon, that they won't. Lucy, the thing is, 44 by Reading and Bolton was the lowest total ever to stay in the league. A point per game often does send you down. I'll do the research on that. I've looked over the years, and I did a video on that. I'll double check back on the video, but I have in my head that that's not the case, and a point per game is often enough. But I'll double check it, and obviously admit if I'm wrong about that. Anyone up to Luton could still go down. Every point is vital. Bielik was worth 1.5 players to Derby. Disrespectful. Deary me. Wycombe, Birmingham and Millwall to go down. 10 points in the last 5 since COVID for Rotherham. Pretty good. Very good indeed. Very good indeed. I will have a look at I'm pretty sure I did my research across either 10 or 20 seasons that a point per game, and you're looking good. But hey, if it's changing, it's changing, and it doesn't matter what the 10-year average is. It's what happens this season, and certainly last season, a point per game was not enough. Although I do think that was a high watermark. Finally, I probably did this one quite quickly because it was 0-0, but it is the two teams, Birmingham 0, Wycombe 0. Sorry, Wycombe 0, Birmingham 0. The two teams who have not been improving and whose points per game has not increased in the last 10. And obviously Wycombe have gone adrift and Birmingham have slid closer to the dotted line. 0-0 in this one. Allsop, Grimmer, Knight, Tafazoli, Abita in for Wycombe, Bloomfield, Thompson, Otherborth, Onyedinma, Ikpeza, Musquet. So some changes in the Wycombe team. Ikpezu has come in the last month or two. Musquet is a new loan signing. Otherborth is a new signing who was there last season on loan. Abita is a new signing. So they're still developing as they go. Wycombe, Ainsworth, trying to find the formula to get them off the bottom. For Birmingham, Etheridge, Colin, Roberts, Dean, Pedersen, Gardner back in the team, San Jose, Sunic, Sanchez, Jutkovic, Bella up top. Are the new signings on the bench? Yes, look, Cosgrove on the bench, didn't get on the pitch. The £2 million, we think, £2 million undisclosed as ever, signing from Scottish football. Let's have a look here. Deflected shot from Ikpezu there. Good save by Etheridge down to his right. Good save, though, by Allsop there. Superman from San Jose's header. How has Max Colin not scored that? I don't know. Heads it down straight at Allsop. You'd look at the gaping holes at Allsop's right. You'd think Colin should be scoring that one. And Mark Roberts sees the ball, tries to do an old school. Right, I'm taking the ball and everyone with me. He's too slow. Adeniran gets there first and a straight red for Roberts. Let's have a look at the numbers. And on the basis, I'm guessing that big chance is the Max Colin header. On the basis of that, I'm thinking that Birmingham will think that they should have got something more. 62% possession. Look, 18 shots to 4, 5-2 on target, 7 corners to 4. But Birmingham are not a team that scores goals and wins games. 19 goals in 27 games. Derby have less, but have had a really good defensive run. Sheffield Wednesday have less, but are winning games at the moment. And Wycombe have less as well. So Birmingham need to start scoring some more goals, or at least like a few of their opponents down there, need to make them count. Birmingham as I keep referring to in recent times, say 8 to 10 games, when everybody else has put on at least a point per game or possibly even more. Birmingham have not in the slightest managed to do so. And Wycombe are now, with the rising tide, 12 points off safety with 21 games to go. It looks a long, long way back for Wycombe. Let's have a look at your comments. What are you guys saying in the chat? Some of the Rotherham directors chanted and sang at Rooney. Eek, I will obviously plead the fifth until I've seen evidence of such matters. Martin, Tom Insta Luton, I love it. Check out the transfer update videos on Monday, about halfway through. Just spool through and the picture of Tom Insta will come up. But I have talked about it. Rotherham have got a solid form now. I don't know. After a bit of a bad run, need to keep going for about 5 to 7 games. Agreed. More bad weather forecast. Oh, no, we don't want any more postponements. No good. See you soon, Nat. Very poor from Birmingham, and Karanka got back with the likes of Etheridge. Oh, Halilovic. I forgot about him, yeah. Cosgrave needs to do better. Chris says Karanka, 2 more games. Wow. Interesting indeed. Oh, dear. What are we going to do? Sorry. There we go. My apologies, guys. We appear to have some of my old students from the school. Let's have a look here. I think. There we go. Bournemouth away and Luton at home next for Birmingham. Ouch. Hashtag teams like Luton, teams like Rotherham. Right. Thank you very much. That is our show. As ever, please hit the like button before you go. Thank you for all your comments. Have a think about getting involved on Patreon. Q&As are go now every Thursday. I'm closing in on another 2 shows that we're going to start regular on Patreon. So have a think about getting involved over there. We reached 14,000 now subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell. I should plug the Teespring shop. You can buy some merchandise over on Teesprings. That's in the advert at the end of the video. I'm going to be interviewed on a Millwall podcast later on today. So check that one out. No one likes us talking if you're of a Millwall persuasion. And we will be back tomorrow. Dearly Departed preview, Championship preview. And God, is it Friday already? Swansea versus Norwich. Oof. What a game. Looking forward to that one. Big style. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you all very, very soon. It's a big, can't find the button. It's a big over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.